I think there's something wrong with me. This is how I felt most days for the last 2 years of my life. I wanted to talk about this, put it out there, and maybe someone out there feels the same way too, and this can help. Most of what I create here on YouTube is popcorn entertainment, tips on how to get better at video games, montages, previews, reviews, gameplay commentary, opinion pieces. And that's fine, I love creating and entertainment is important to people. But this video is going to focus on a personal anecdote about my anxieties and the lessons that I've learned. It started in October a couple of years ago. I began to feel nauseous all of the time, having headaches, blurry vision. You know that feeling you get when you're a bit buzzed and you don't seem to be completely there in the moment, connected to your body. That's how it felt most of the time. Other days I'd feel fine, but then I'd have this moment where I'd feel myself go, like the gravity in the room had shifted, as if my brain had shunted into the wrong position. And I couldn't shake it. I'd wake up and feel like that. Surely this wasn't in my head. There's got to be something broken in my body, I told myself, which means that I can be fixed. Alongside this dizziness was a shortness of breath, that feeling that I could never get a satisfying breath. You breathe in harder and harder until eventually you get the breath that you needed. Sometimes a yawn would be the only thing that could fix it, but most of the time it felt like my lungs weren't filling up with oxygen. Something was stopping them, blocking them. This would come and go throughout the day, when driving, when editing a video, watching a movie. It was unpredictable and annoying. It was worse at night time too, as I settled down to bed, put my head on the pillow, the room is silent, some time to collect my thoughts, and then it gets worse. I lay on my right side, my left, on my back. I can't seem to get a satisfying breath, and this stops me from getting to sleep, which annoys me because I've got to be up in 5 hours to travel to the airport in London. And then another new problem begins. My eardrum feels like it's fluttering inside of my head. This rapid, loud beating, irregular and relentless. It's like a moth is stuck in there and it won't stop, but somehow I managed to drift off. My final ailment was a pain in my stomach, just underneath the left of the sternum. Recurring, again worse at night time, but it wouldn't go away. So as a child of the internet, I did what any other good sibling would do and googled my symptoms. Google would know what was wrong with me, wouldn't they? I searched all of my problems very specifically in the hope that someone else out there had the exact same issue and could tell me how they fixed it. And so I trawled through the NHS Health A to Z, WebMD questions, Doctor's Lounge, Healthline. I did the whole lot, and I read stories of people who were experiencing the same. I'd see a post, read it, and say to myself, you know what, that's exactly how I feel, so I must have this problem. Now there are websites where you can enter a specific set of symptoms, and it will tell you what problem they think that you're most likely to have. And for me, the worst experiences were the dizziness, the blurred vision, the headaches, the vertigo feeling, and the shortness of breath. And what did I keep finding from most of those things on the internet? Brain tumours. Every time it would always come back there. I had convinced myself and I began to worry. So I went to my doctor and explained. She said it's probably stress, but we'll check you over anyway. I didn't believe it. She books me in for blood tests and a chest x-ray at the hospital. A week later I call for the results. My blood tests are all normal. My lungs look good, but I still feel ill. Still got the same symptoms. So I go back. The next visit, she has a proper good look in my ears. She sends me for an asthma test. My brother had it, my mum has it. Maybe I've developed it too as I've aged. Nope, all good. Breathing tests came back great. I have excellent oxygen saturation. So why does it feel like I can't get a satisfying breath? The pains in my stomach are getting worse, and I begin to start to feel ectopic heartbeats all of the time. That's when your heart skips a beat and it feels like it flip-flops inside of your chest or isn't working for a moment. So I go back to her again. Well, she says that she can't feel anything wrong with my abdomen or my chest, and my heart sounds good, but she'd like to check all of that more thoroughly just in case. The next week I go for an ultrasound of my heart. That's pretty cool. I then do an exercise heart test running on a treadmill, wear a 24-hour monitor, and finish it off with a gastroscopy. And that's when they stick a camera down your throat to look at your stomach. Guess what? All normal. The doctor prescribes me with omeprazole. That's an oral capsule you can take to reduce the amount of acid in your stomach. So I take the full prescription. It doesn't work. I still feel ill. Still that sick, nauseous, off-balance feeling all of the time. More internet, more Google, more forums and stories from other people. I kept coming back to it. I had convinced myself that there was something wrong with my brain. Why else would I feel the way that I felt all of the time? From a health standpoint, the rest of my body, according to these tests, looked good. So I headed back to the doctor one last time, and as I spoke to her, I began to cry. I cried so much that I couldn't talk. My face contorted as I tried to speak. Why was this happening to me? Why were there no answers, no finality? Not knowing is sometimes worse than knowing. Why, after all of these tests, prods and examinations, could they not pinpoint what was wrong with me? But I still wasn't getting any better. I was sure that this was a problem that my body couldn't fix by itself, and so she sent me for an MRI, a brain scan to look inside of my head. A few days go by and the appointment came through much quicker than I had expected. The doctor escalated the case. It was an early winter morning in December. It had snowed overnight and the roads were icy and dangerous, and I felt dizzy again. I didn't want to risk the drive. So I asked my dad if he would pick me up and take me to the hospital before work. He did. What a legend. And my girlfriend came with me too, and I lied down in the machine. It's noisy, but it's over in about 15 minutes. A week of worrying goes by and I continue to work my usual video schedule. I call the doctors on the day they told me to and ask about my results. All normal, no follow-up required is what they say. There's nothing physically wrong with my brain. No tumour, no bleeding, no aneurysm. It's fine. Where do I go from here? The symptoms I'm having are real. I'm not making them up. I'm feeling these things. What is wrong with me? After I had that brain scan, something inside of me clicked. The whole time I was told that it could be stress and anxiety giving me these physical symptoms, making me feel down and worried all of the time, changing the chemistry of my body to knock my focus, heightening my adrenaline, elevating my heart rate, spiking my blood pressure and causing headaches. But no, I thought, that wasn't me. I'm not that guy. It can't happen to me. I don't believe that it could do that. You know, I'm a very chilled out person and I love my job. I don't have many things to worry about or many pressures on me. That's impossible. I was wrong. I wanted to feel better, and I was given every medical test under the sun to prove that I was physically okay. But I had to first accept that I needed to make a change and that perhaps this was all on me rather than my body. Now I realise that what I'm about to say is incredibly unrelatable to 99% of people still watching this video, but when you're a content creator on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, wherever, you become obsessed with numbers and growing your successes. How many subs did I lose today? How many did I gain? How many views have I got this month? That video didn't do as well as I expected it to. I don't understand. I worked my ass off on it with scripting and filming and editing. Am I bad at this? And focusing on that all of the time while trying to balance all of my other real life commitments at the time, like moving house, accounting issues, admin work, all the usual stuff that everyone has to deal with. All of that had just hammered me down. I was taking on too much. So I began to entertain the possibility that this was stress and anxiety related, and I began to make changes, looked at how I could improve. More exercise, better diet, better planning with work and video uploads, days out, seeing friends more often, just going for a walk somewhere, not focusing so much on work and the numbers, and I asked friends to work with me too. And most importantly, I stopped Googling my symptoms, trawling forums, and self-diagnosing myself through the internet. Over time, I did get better. The dizziness subsided. I would wake up feeling like my head was clear. I could focus again, and it felt amazing. The fluttering in my ears stopped after a few months. The stomach pains and regular headaches went away. Finally, I felt like I could breathe again. But I kept this mostly to myself, and I didn't seek help outside of the doctors. In retrospect, that was a terrible move. The people around you want to help. Your family, friends, partners, work colleagues, they're there for you to talk to bounce ideas and concerns off, and they need you as much as you need them. We're all in this together, so don't try and fix everything by yourself because it will catch up to you. And there's no shame in asking for help from time to time. That's the lesson that I've learned. The past year has been great though in terms of my health. I still get a worrisome blip in my head from time to time. My latest random concern was that I'd convinced myself I had a blood clot in my left leg due to the sedimentary nature of video editing work, sitting down a lot. I get pains from time to time in my thigh and calf when walking, and very occasionally I feel the whole not being able to get a satisfying breath thing coming back. So a blood clot seemed like the perfect fit. And of course, I read up on all that online, and I found out that blood clots can be very dangerous. If they dislodge, there's a chance that they can get stuck in your lungs and kill you. That was a few months ago, but because of the changes that I made, I've got a different mindset with it all now. So I still went back to the doctors, and they checked out my leg, ran some blood tests with clot markers, and guess what? All normal. And I've moved on from that now, and I've left it in the past. There's nothing there. I think there's something wrong with me, but there isn't, and now I've accepted that. I'm 32, a healthy young man, and I've got a long life to live, so I'm going to do just that. And that's all for today. I know this is quite an unusual video for my channel, but I woke up early this morning and for some reason I just felt compelled to make this. And if you're dealing with any problems yourself, I'm sorry to hear that, but get yourself checked out if you're holding off. Seek help and you will feel better. And whatever that thing is that you want to do, stop procrastinating, just go and do it. If you enjoyed the video, guys, leave a like. If you didn't, a dislike, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.